What is happening, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to build a super easy spider spawner grinder. Now, this design works for both cave spider spawners and regular spider spawners, and there's nothing in the farm that you actually have to change. Also, for the most part, you won't get any spiders hanging out in the top corners of the farms. The only reason I have them hanging out there right now is because if we check the mob cap, I have about 160 of these cave spiders in this area right now. From my monitoring, it takes about 120 plus spiders for them to push each other enough to climb the walls. But if you don't have 120 spiders hanging out in your farm, they will not, in fact, be able to climb the walls. All right, so if we look at the materials, for the basic farm, all you need are 12 fences, 22 trapdoors. They can be iron or wood, it does not matter. You need 11 walls of any kind, it doesn't have to be cobblestone. You need 11 slabs, and then you need either an infinite water source or just a bunch of ice that you can break. If you want a collection system, you need between 2 and 4 hoppers and 1 and 2 chests. This is the bare minimum for an automatic collection system. You'll still end up picking some of the stuff up on your person, just most of it will end up in the chest. And I believe with 4 hoppers, you won't have any loss at all. I like to cover up the chest with a trapdoor, but you don't have to do that. And if you do, ignore the iron trapdoor. This should be any kind of wooden trapdoor. Otherwise, you'll need redstone to open it. Also, if you're doing cave spider spawner, I like the outside platform to be bottom slabs, like I have here. But this farm will work exactly the same way with a regular spider spawner. However, instead of these bottom slabs here that I'm standing on, you'd want to switch those out for top slabs and or full blocks. So instead of bottom slabs here, just have full blocks. And that is really the only difference. All right, so now that we know our materials, let's go out into the world, let's find a spawner, and I will show you step by step how to build this. Alright, so here we are in an abandoned mine shaft. I believe there is a spider spawner just past my shoulder there through those cobwebs. So let's start building this thing. So first thing we want to do is we want to clear out the cobwebs while lighting up the area. If you are in survival mode, a sword works really well for destroying the cobwebs, and it drops string. Or if you would like to save the cobwebs, because they do have some good uses, you can bring shears along, and that breaks them pretty quickly. And then you just want to light up the spawner. And there we have the end of the mine shaft, so we'll give that a little bit of light. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to measure out 5 blocks in all directions from the spider spawner. Oh, and one thing I forgot, you do want to bring some torches and some temporary blocks or just some general building blocks. You should be able to get the building blocks just by digging out the space. So it's not super critical to bring your own, but it never hurts. All right, so we want to measure out 5 blocks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to do this on all 4 sides. So let's go over here and 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go ahead and do my section real quick while you do yours, and I will meet you guys back here in just a couple seconds. All right, so we are back here. We have, oh my goodness, woo, look at that pretty face. So we are back here, and we have all 4 of our sides extended out 5 blocks in all directions. Now what we want to do is we want to clear out all the remaining blocks, and we want to build up walls. Just like this. And so this makes up 1/4 of it. And we want to extend our walls over here. This is actually probably going to be the front of my spawner. Oh, maybe I'll make this side the front. I'm not really sure. But one side you're going to make the front, so you don't necessarily have to seal that up at this point in time. But it's a good idea to do that eventually. Now go ahead and remove all the blocks out from your other 4 quadrants. All right, so now we have our room emptied out, and now would be a good time to go ahead and break our measuring cobblestone. So let's go ahead and do that. And we want to make sure that we're lighting the area up the whole time. So we can just toss some torches on our four corners. One thing I like to do is I normally put the torches on some dirt blocks and keep them floating in the room until I am ready to turn on the spawner. And then now is the perfect time to go ahead and place our fence gates while everything is still in easy reach. So you're going to take them and you're going to put your fence gates on the four corners or on the four sides of the spawner. Then you're going to take some temporary blocks and put them on top of the gates. Now you take your remaining gates and place them in the four corners and then on the four flat sides. Go ahead and break your temporary blocks and then open up all of your gates. If you're having trouble with spawns during this, just go ahead and leave the torch on top of the spawner. That is not a big deal. And then after you're done, just place your water bucket. If you leave a pillar here, they can spawn up here and they can just sit and hang out in the corner of the pillar and the ceiling, which we do not want that. Now that that is done, go ahead and count out 3 blocks below your spawner. So 1, 2, and 3. And then this is the level that we want to dig down for the rest of the room. So go ahead and start doing that, making sure you're lighting up the area the entire time. And once again, I will come back after I have taken care of this. Okay, so we have our room emptied out now. So now is the point where we decide where the front of the room is and where the back of the room is. I think I want, let's see, I guess this would make a decent front because there's a hallway right there, or mine shaft. So that means that this is our back. So the next thing you want to do is, if this is our front, mark that out with torches, and this is our back, we want to count 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to dig out 1 more layer down. And we want to dig out all the way to the front. After we have dug out this little lip for the water to flow, then we need to dig out 2 more blocks so we have kind of an overhang. And this is going to be our killing area for the spiders. And then we'll actually want to dig out over here. This is going to be our little AFK killing room for us to run back and forth. This can be really however big you want it. You don't have to make this some grandiose AFK location. Let's extend our floor. Okay, so here we have our overhang. This is where we need our slabs. So you just take all of your slabs and you place them on the top here. The next block outside of the slabs is where your trapdoors go. So we want 1 trapdoor on the top of this block and then 1 on the bottom of the block above that. So you have 2 trapdoors directly next to each other. And then you just want to extend this all the way down the entire length of the farm. Now you'll notice that we have this little bit of a trench below the trapdoors. We just want to go ahead and dig that out all the way down, fill in any holes, and place down our wall blocks underneath the trapdoors. There we have it. So normally cave spiders would be able to fit through this space, but because wall blocks have a 1.5 block hitbox, they're not actually able to. So between this and the trapdoors, the cave spiders cannot actually fit through here. Also, we would want this floor at this height for a regular spider spawner. Because of their hitbox, they tend to bob up and down in the water and kind of ride up on the wall hitbox a little bit. So being down a little bit lower is bad for the regular spiders, but it's actually very good for the cave spiders because they're just a little bit smaller. So it's actually easier to crouch in order to hit them or stand to hit them when they climb up onto the top here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to switch this out for bottom slabs. And then that also has the combination effect of mob proofing this area. So we don't actually have to worry about lighting, which is also a good thing because we want it to be very dark in here. So now the final step is to come in here. Let's go over there. And we want to place our little collection setup. So we're going to dig down 2 blocks. We're going to find the center, which that is not the center. We're going to find the center and dig down 2 blocks, and we're going to point a hopper pointing away from us, and then another hopper pointing into that one. If you're having a hard time placing the hopper on top of another one, remember you have to shift click, otherwise you will open up the inventory just like this. But if you shift click, you'll be able to place the hopper. Now you go around to the front and break that block, break those. I'm just going to drop down and we're going to place a chest there. And then I'm going to go ahead and place a double chest. You don't actually have to do this. You can actually get a lot of the loot by just walking over here and it'll actually pull it into you. I just prefer not to fill up my inventory. And then I'm going to go ahead and toss my extra hopper there and there. And that just affects a little bit wider of an area. I'm also going to place down a wooden trapdoor just to make this easy to walk over so I don't have to worry about jumping. But you really don't actually have to do that. So now it's time to place the water streams, and we will come in here. So you want to go to the back corners and you want to place them 1 block up, and you want to do that in both corners. And then you see the water extends 1 block before flowing down. You want to go to the next block over and you want to make all of these water sources. Then you'll notice that all the water flows forward. There's nothing really keeping the spiders from climbing on the walls. So the next thing you have to do is you come out from the ledge, you skip 1 block, and then you fill up water sources. You do not fill up the block underneath the overhang or the slabs. You make sure you do not want that to be a source block. And that's going to push all of your spiders underneath the overhang and then towards you so you can kill them. Now we want to do that again on the next side. And just put 1 right there. And now it is time for us to leave. Oh, actually, before we leave, now it is time. Now it is time for us to knock the torches down and start the spawns. So let's go ahead and do that. And I left the torches on the wall like a dummy. But then we just come through here and you want to fill up this hole. And then that is it. It looks bright in here because I have night vision on currently. But you are going to want it as dark as possible. Let's check what our light level is. Yeah, we have a light level 0 all through here, so that is absolutely perfect. Let's switch over to survival. And you can see that the spiders are trying to aggro us, but they cannot actually hit us. It's important to note that the cave spiders can hit you at about that point. So it's about standing right there, so you can reach them before they can reach you. So just try and avoid getting any closer than this. Normal spiders, because their hitbox is bigger and the walls keep them from getting as close, you can actually get right up to the trapdoors for the most part before the regular spiders can hurt you. And you just swing at them. So when they climb up to the top, you just stand up and you can hit them easily there. And then when they're underneath, you can easily hit them by crouching. So super easy to get all the spiders. They'll never group up in the corners of the farm unless you have about 120 of them. Then when you want to, you can just collect your XP. And some of the items do end up on top of the trapdoors, but you can just walk up to them and collect them. And the spiders tend, because of the water streams, the spiders tend to congregate in the center here unless you get just a whole bunch of them. And because the size, the volume of the farm is so large, they will pretty much continually spawn in the farm, as long as you have it activated. As long as you stand close enough to activate the farm, they'll just keep going because it spawns them and they fall out of the bounding box, which allows more spiders to spawn. So it will essentially just keep going. So you could essentially just AFK in here, get a whole bunch of spiders, and then kill them all, and then, you know, take another break for 20 minutes, and then come back, and it'll actually lead to a decent amount of XP. But if you guys found this tutorial helpful, please leave a thumbs up, and be on the lookout. I will be posting more tutorials in the future. Thanks for watching so much, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye!